Evening, John.
Evening, Jimmy. Noise complaint.
Noise complaint. You, working again?
No, just sorting some stuff out.
Hello! I am Aoyalaipe, and I like to hop into top-tier matches in War Thunder, and then personally kill the entire enemy team by myself. Welcome to my channel! So China has two top-tier premiums, the J7D, which is a Chinese MiG-21 variant, and the A-5C, which is basically a pimped-out MiG-19. I had a very nice video planned comparing them. I was going to do two in one video, see which one is better. And let's see here. The J7D got one enemy player, and the A-5C killed all of them and won the game. Then Gaijin buffed the missiles on these planes before I could edit that video, so I was like, okay, let's roll them out again and see how they are now. And let's see, okay, my J7D got two of them, and the E5C got 17 of them in a row. Well, great, there's my video. I mean, yeah, I died, but it was more than a full up tier from A5C because the J7D is higher BR. Then I decided to just keep playing the A5C for fun because it's a really fun plane, and that's where the fireworks begin. So I guess I have to show you how that happened. Now, before I show you everyone being very, very angry with me, I of course need to show and explain the tactics and strategies that are going to make them very, very angry. So first off, the main challenge when dogfighting in Top Tier Arcade, TTAA, is that it is absolute sheer chaos. There are missiles and planes everywhere. There are so many things that are trying to kill you. Now, there are a few different ways to dogfight in War Thunder generally, and one of them is a straight-up raid fight, where you have two planes aggressively turning to get on each other's tails. This is what comes naturally to most players, and it's the sort of stuff you see in movies. However, due to the sheer chaos of Top Tier Arcade, the main factor in determining who wins a raid fight is actually where on the map the fight is happening. Your plane's ability to turn is entirely secondary. Like, your ability to win a turn fight is not determined by your ability to turn. And this switch happens really, really abruptly, and it catches a lot of players off guard, and most of them have a hard time figuring out the new way things work on their own. And this makes for some really funny situations in Rank 6 where the abrupt change happens, because you'll occasionally run into hyper-competitive trolls who are used to being really toxic getting away with it because they were very good at raid fighting in lower tiers. You might know them by the term BF109 camper, as most of them tend to be. As soon as these people set foot in Rank 6, they suddenly don't know how the game works, and this often results in a deeply emotional experience for them. Now, the A-5C is just about the fastest plane that you can find at this battle rating that is pretty good at turning, and also doesn't have terrible energy retention. The way you exploit a plane like this in TTAA is to use your maneuverability to attack people, but not to fight them. And if you're confused, that will make way more sense in a second. Due to the A-5C's combination of speed, thrust, and energy retention, I can throw my plane around to line up attacks and still go really fast and zip across the map, provided I resist the urge to aggressively raid fight everyone I see. For the next 20 seconds or so, I suggest you pay attention to how my A5C's speed remains really high, despite all of the loops and turns I'm making to line up attacks. Plus, the A5C has Magic 1s, which is the best rear aspect missile for this kind of job. They pull really hard right off the rack, it is perfect. The guns are neither good nor bad, but they are extremely satisfying to use, and they are mainly for targets of opportunity. Now, the speed matters because, first, it makes me annoying to kill, so fewer people bother to attack me in the first place, and that's always nice. However, do you remember how I said that the winner of raid fights is generally determined by where on the map you are? Well, if I do see someone trying to attack me, a higher speed means it takes longer for them to pin me down and force a raid fight. That provides me a window that I can use to force my pursuer to fight on ground that is favorable to me or to break off. And this works even in this match, which is an unusually brutal up tier for this plane. And I highly recommend you watch these two guides I already made for more details on how to have a lot of fun with this plane. The links are in the description. Oh, and side note, I know this is basically my motto at this point, I say it every video, but as a reminder, missiles do not go through mountains. Mountains make the best countermeasures. Please use them. Now anyways, a lot of planes don't have enough energy retention to make huge turns in the middle map like the A-5C can, and still be survivable. And that's because acceleration is massively nerfed in arcade for any plane with an afterburner. This means it can be really tricky with some planes, especially for new players, to figure out how to make the necessary maneuvers in arcade while maintaining the necessary speed to avoid getting targeted. But with the A-5C, that's really easy. It's just inherently good at this. Now, back to positioning. This particular map has the strongest possible position any map can have in this game, and that position is an airfield that is directly in front of your own spawn. If you've seen my positioning video, then you'll know that this particular location will stack advantages like it's pancakes. If I fight someone over my airfield, I will have AAA and a steady stream of respawning teammates coming in to shoot at my opponent or opponents. This means I can easily set people up to be killed, and I can easily handle multiple opponents at the same time. Plus, my opponents will constantly be distracted, and that makes it easy to force mistakes. Plus, this location lets you reload all of your missiles and countermeasures in basically guaranteed safety. People aren't gonna just jump you when you're defenseless. But overall, a strong positioning advantage basically gives me the ability to punt every rate fight. So I'll take all of the rate fights I can, and if I don't like how it's going, I'll just punt it. So this A-5C, for example, is more maneuverable than my A-5C. I have no business fighting him, but I'm going to do it anyways, because if he makes a mistake, I'll get the kill. If he doesn't, I'll just set up to be killed by someone or something else. It's all the same to me, and that is actually what winds up happening. And the solution is to not attack me when I'm over my own airfield. If I have to leave to find targets, either I do and become easier to kill, or I don't and become a totally irrelevant player. And now this is where EasyE enters the picture. EasyE becomes pretty angry over what happens next. Now, I repeatedly warned him that I did YouTube, and his account is old enough to basically guarantee that he is an adult. But when I asked him to provide comment for this video, his response was, racism? Now, despite what happens next, EasyE wanted me to tell you that he is the best and also the better player. He also said that he won some sort of World Series duel and has one of only 2 camos for the A-5C as a result, which would be really cool if it were true, but if you check the replay, he just has the normal A-5C achievement camo. So, I asked Willy Walrus, yeah, that guy who parodied me a few weeks back, and he said that neither he nor anyone he knew had ever heard of this guy, and I feel like Willy Walrus would know, given that he is, Willy Walrus. So anyways, EasyE comes at me, and I pre-turn him. Side note, this specific move is really effective against F-104s. Do it a few times, and you'll see why. But with EasyE, it just buys me enough time to escape and reposition before he's able to line up an attack, and I mean, I'm already at the airfield. I see no reason to give up that advantage. So he tried to attack me, but he had to turn away, and I turned to attack him, but I hold my fire because I think he's heading behind the mound, and that means my missile won't connect. But instead, he just flies straight into the mound, and no one got kill credit, so he wasn't damaged. He just flew into the mound. It looks like a spike crash. So I just fire off my missile anyways, just to get the reload timer going, and then I just reload here in safety before I head out again. Now, it's pretty clear that EasyE is coming right at me because he's making a beeline straight for me, but the furball is like a little to my right. And I can see him from so far away because he climbed. While that might theoretically give you an advantage, it actually is the wrong move in top tier aircade. You want to dive and hide in the mountains and conceal himself, target my situational awareness. If I know exactly where he is, I can plan around that. He's pretty far away, so I have time, so my plan is to just make a run on his team and then make sure I'm reloading over my own airfield by the time this guy actually reaches me again. This is honestly something I probably would have done anyways, because I've killed quite a few people at this point, and if you kill a bunch of people, that you start to get targeted, and I just don't have enough ammo to kill everyone at the same time. People want revenge, I don't know what to say. So I have to use positioning, AAA, lots of other people. This is an issue that happens when you just kill everyone. Alright, I'm out of ammo, let's head back to the airfield, a nice safe place to reload, while we await the return of the World Dueling Champion, who is right there. I got the timing right. Now, you might think it will be difficult for me to kill EasyE because all of my weapons are unreloaded and therefore my plane is unarmed right now and I am also out of flares, and you'd be right, it would be difficult for me to kill him, but it would be very easy for me to set him up to get killed by the AAA. So now that EasyE is sitting in the worst possible place you can possibly be in a top tier arcade match, I will maneuver just to delay him from killing me, because time is on my side. You have to understand the value in killing him is in having him die, not getting the kill credit. He would be a time-consuming opponent to kill, so I'd rather just have him out of the way, hopefully by the time all my stuff is reloaded, then I can go make another attack on his team without him to stop me. Remember, and this is important, if you really want to kill someone, you fight their weaknesses, not their strengths. EasyE claims that I'm very bad at turning and whatnot, and he is much better at turning, but that's beside the point because I don't want to turn fight him and he can't make me, so what good is that skill, right? And as you can see, all he really did there was feed his backup vehicle to the AAA. Besides, I never claimed to be good at turning. In fact, I've never claimed to be good at this game at all. I merely implied it, heavily. and I still am. It's much funnier that way. EasyE insisted that he would destroy me in a turn fight as soon as he found me again, but I pointed out that the problem with his approach is that I play with incognito mode on and I'm a YouTuber, so I get test drives. That means I can be in any plane at any time with any name, so he would have no way of knowing if I was in the lobby unless I told him. So sure, I could dogfight him, but I could also layer all of this bullshit like a cake, use it as armor, and cheese him to death on repeat, and there's nothing he could really do to stop me if I did that. His response was to spam invite me to 1v1 duels. As you can see, we have very different approaches to this game.
You don't fight with honor.
No. He did.
Now, if you'd believe it, all of the people who are willing to fight me over my own airfield have somehow all managed to lose all of their planes for some reason. They just disappeared somehow, so I need to venture back out to find more targets. Now, this is where I make a mistake. I go after this nice, easy prop plane, but I didn't realize how bad the Magic 1 is at locking onto prop planes. Hey look, I'm still new to this jet. And I wind up becoming overextended. Before I can make the kill, I break off because I realize I'm about to get swarmed by a number of planes, including an F8 which can match my speed, and an F86 variant which can outmaneuver me. I'm pretty high on everyone's hit list by this point, so they all pounce when they see the opportunity. My best bet is to spoil their attacks and delay them from shooting me long enough that I can cut behind this hill for cover, but I don't quite make it. But hey, you know, all things considered, that was a pretty good run. And hey, look, if the enemy team is complaining in chat about how effective you are, they thought my name was Shoji, by the way, because that was what incognito mode assigned to me. Then you know, popping it back up is probably warranted, right? Now, EasyE wasn't just complaining in chat, he actually DM'd me to complain. Like he DM'd me mid-battle. I mean, look, if you want to get your ass kicked in a 1v1 duel, go talk to Willy Walrus, you know, that's his department. TTA is the wrong place if you're looking for that. But anyways, now, this is a bit late in the video to be bringing up, but at long last, I should mention that the main planes to watch out for with your A-5C are F-104s, because they're the only plane that can casually outrun you. Other planes can theoretically outrun you, but if you make a conscious effort to keep your speed up, and other people aren't doing that because they usually don't, then only an F-104 can catch you in practice. It's just the only one that will just be able to easily catch you. Other than that, the scariest planes are other A-5Cs and F-80s and F-8U2s. These planes are actually very similar in playstyle, and if you like the American F-8s, you'll definitely like this plane too. Same goes for F-5C. If you like the F-5C, you'll probably love the A-5C. I'd recommend avoiding F-8s and killing other A-5Cs when you see them. The A-5C is actually pretty vulnerable to other A-5Cs. Another thing you might have noticed me doing is that I tend to cut behind mountains and not bother looking behind me when I do so. As I've said before in other videos, you can substitute countermeasures for situational awareness, but this plane has limited countermeasures. However, you can substitute terrain for countermeasures. I'll say it again. You know, missiles don't go through mounds, and if there's nothing faster than me in the area, and I just cut behind a mound, then there's no real way for a missile to hit me for, you know, a decent time period. This makes it not only easy to dodge missiles, but makes it much easier to pay attention. And there's a lot to pay attention to when the entire enemy team is trying to kill you. And this is one of those planes that's good enough that you actually have to worry about that. Another useful skill is counting missiles. Most A-10s are the premium version, which only has 2 AIM-9Ls. This guy just fired one at me. So when he fires a second, I can afford to fire off extra countermeasures just to be sure I dodge the last AIM-9L. But this is a calculated risk. If it's a fully upgraded tech tree version, which you do not see very often, he would be able to kill me pretty easily. But since I have limited countermeasures, you know, these are the calculations you need to make. And this helps you manage them more effectively. Anyways, the game is about to end. It looks like it's going to be a narrow defeat for my team. And that's a real shame, because usually when I meet a troll who decides to pick a fight with me, my response is just kill his entire team and then make fun of him. But here I was only able to kill most of his team before making fun of him. It cheapens the experience. Anyways, if you subscribe and ring the bell, you won't need to remember how to spell ALIPay next time you want to watch one of my videos.